Welcome to this tutorial on Invoke-Command, one of the most powerful cmdlets in PowerShell for remote administration. Invoke-Command allows you to execute PowerShell commands and scripts on remote computers across your network. This capability is essential for system administrators who need to manage multiple servers efficiently without manually logging into each one. Throughout this tutorial, you will learn the fundamentals of remote command execution, including syntax, best practices, and practical examples that you can apply in real-world scenarios. Invoke-Command is a PowerShell cmdlet specifically designed to execute commands and scripts on one or more remote computers simultaneously. Think of it as a way to extend your PowerShell console to reach any computer on your network that has PowerShell remoting enabled. Instead of connecting to each server individually through remote desktop or other tools, you can run commands from your local machine and have them execute remotely. This cmdlet works by establishing a secure connection to the target computers, executing your specified commands, and then returning the results back to your console. It is particularly valuable in enterprise environments where you might need to perform the same task across dozens or even hundreds of servers at once. Let's examine the basic syntax of Invoke-Command. The fundamental structure includes the Invoke-Command cmdlet followed by two essential parameters. First, the computer name parameter specifies which remote computer you want to target. In this example, we are targeting a server named server01. Second, the script block parameter contains the actual commands you want to execute remotely, wrapped in curly braces. Here, we are running getService, which will retrieve all services running on the remote server. This is the simplest form of Invoke-Command, executing a single command on a single remote computer. The remote machine must have PowerShell remoting enabled, and you must have appropriate permissions to connect to it. One of the most powerful features of Invoke-Command is its ability to execute commands on multiple computers simultaneously. In this example, we first create a variable called servers that contains an array of three server names: server01, server02, and server03. We then use Invoke-Command with the computer name parameter set to our server's variable. The script block specifies that we want to get all processes named W3WP, which is the Internet Information Services Worker process. When you run this command, PowerShell will connect to all three servers at the same time and execute the getProcess command on each one. This parallel execution saves tremendous time compared to running the command on each server individually. The results from all servers will be returned to your console, with each result tagged with the computer name it came from. For better performance and more advanced scenarios, you can use persistent sessions with Invoke-Command. A session is a persistent connection to a remote computer that remains open for multiple commands. In this example, we first create a new PowerShell session to server01 using the new PS session cmdlet and store it in the session variable. Then, we use Invoke-Command with the session parameter instead of computer name, passing our session variable. Inside the script block, we read the contents of a log file located at c:\logs/app.log and store it in a variable called data. After we are done, we close the session using remove PS session. Using sessions is more efficient than repeatedly specifying computer name because the connection overhead only happens once. This is especially valuable when you need to run multiple commands on the same remote computer, as the session stays open between commands. Instead of writing commands directly in a script block, you can execute entire PowerShell script files that exist on your local computer. This is done using the file path parameter. In this example, we use Invoke-Command to run a script file called maintenance.ps1 located at c:\scripts on our local machine. The backtick at the end of the first line is PowerShell's line continuation character, allowing us to write the command across multiple lines for better readability. When you use file path, Invoke-Command automatically reads the script from your local computer, sends it to the remote computer specified in computer name, and executes it there. This is extremely useful when you have complex automation scripts that you want to run on remote servers without having to copy the script file to each server first. The script executes in the context of the remote computer, so any file paths or resources it references should exist on the remote machine. Often you need to pass variables or parameters to your remote commands to make them dynamic. This example demonstrates how to pass arguments from your local machine to the remote script block. First, we create a local variable called serviceName with the value MS-SQL Server, which is the Microsoft SQL Server service. Then, in our invoke command, the script block begins with a param statement that declares a parameter called name. Inside the script block, we use restart service with the name parameter set to our $name variable. The crucial part is the argument list parameter at the end, which specifies which local variables to pass to the remote script block. The values you provide in argument list are passed to the param statement in order. So our service name variable becomes the name parameter in the remote script block. This technique allows you to write flexible, reusable remote commands that can work with different values each time you run them. Let's review the key benefits of using Invoke-Command for remote administration. First, it allows you to execute commands in parallel across multiple systems, dramatically reducing the time needed for large-scale operations. Instead of configuring 100 servers sequentially, you can configure all of them simultaneously. Second, all communication happens over encrypted connections using the WS Management Protocol, ensuring your commands and data remain secure as they travel across the network. Third, Invoke-Command returns results as structured PowerShell objects, not just text, which means you can easily filter, sort, and manipulate the results using other PowerShell cmdlets. Finally, by reusing sessions, you can significantly improve performance when running multiple commands against the same remote computers, as the connection overhead only occurs once. These benefits make Invoke-Command an indispensable tool for any Windows system administrator managing infrastructure at scale.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.